Welcome to True Crime with Violet. Hi, I'm Violet, and today we'll be discussing the horrible case of Teri Nicolai, the woman left for dead by her terrible, abusive husband. On January 31st, 2001 was the beginning of a dark 10 years in life of Teri Nicolai. Teri was a young woman who lived in Wisconsin. She had a happy, carefree life, but she made the mistake of marrying an evil man named David Larsen, who would soon turn out to be evil. David Larsen used to be a Marine. He was all about order, discipline, and control. To Teri, David had started out as a long-time friend, fun-loving and family-orientated, but he was far too controlling. The first time he hit her was on the night of her honeymoon. It was the beginning of an end. Teri and David were married 3 years, had 2 little girls, and one night when he came home in a rage, her toddler let her know it was time to go. My eldest daughter Amanda, who was 2 at the time, crawling underneath the table and just putting her hands over her ears and crying and saying, "Shut up!" Teri remembers, and I remember. I looked at her and I just thought, this is not what I want for my kids. In 2005, Teri took her girls and moved to a safety in a woman's shelter. She filed for divorce. She had custody with the girls and remarried. 5 years went by. Teri moved on. David Larsen did not. He opened up the doors and said, "Well, the girls are hiding. They want you to come and find them. My gut told me something was weird." When Teri entered the house, the horror began. When I walked in, I was hit on the head with a baseball bat. And he was saying things like, "You always said I was abusing you. Now I can see what abuse really is." That first blow on the head was just the beginning of a 27-hour-long nightmare. Who has a Rubbermaid garage can empty, duct tape, baseball bat, rags sitting in your living room? It's the day our divorce was final, Teri said. Through drifting in and out of consciousness, she remembers him swinging that wooden bat 15 to 20 times. He duct taped her hands, feet, and mouth and let the torture begin. Dun, dun, dun. I remember thinking to myself, I can't believe I'm thinking, but he's sliding me in this garage can head first. I'm never going to make it. So I wriggled around and I went in feet first. And that probably saved my life right there. Teri said, Larsen took her pants, shoes, and socks, rolled the plastic container into the yard and started filling it with snow. As he loaded her into the truck bed and went to get the girls inside, Teri told herself, "I'm going to die today," but Larsen made a critical mistake. Teri still had her cell phone. The dispatcher said, "Are you having trouble breathing?" And I just kept saying his address. Teri said, "I was fighting for her life." Teri was fighting for her life, stuffed inside a garbage can and dumped in an unheated storage locker in Chicago's northwest suburban Wheeling. Teri Nicolai was bleeding, freezing, and left to die. But almost a decade later, the story of her survival continues to inspire. The attack and kidnapping happened on a Saturday morning, the 3rd anniversary of Teri's divorce from David Larsen. She had gone to pick up her 2 little girls and walked into a setup. On January 31st, 2001, the date of our divorce, when he walked out on the courtroom, he was crying. I remember looking at him and thinking, why is he crying? He hates me, he's so horrible. And I remember looking at him and said, "You're going to regret this," Teri said. I phoned 911, police and ambulance. They had sent someone by the time I heard the squad sirens. We were starting to move. I was being kidnapped and all the squirrels were going to his house and we were moving down the road, Teri said. Police found signs of a struggle and neighbours saw the flashing police found of a struggle and the neighbours saw the flashing lights in Teri's house. They told her new husband, Nick Nicolai, and they'd seen Larsen towing away Teri's car. Nick knew right away she was in trouble. The phone rang. This time it was Teri. It was a very difficult phone call. The thought crossed my mind whether it would be the last time I'd talk to her alive, Nick said. Nick and Teri learned the night before that she was pregnant. Now she was in the back of a moving pickup truck at the mercy of her ex-husband, worried about the girls. They were all in a truck's cab with their mother in the back as they drove to the babysitter. She managed to do a sneaky call to 911 from the back of the truck. Her evil ex-husband then drove them to a public storage locker in Milwaukee Avenue, wheeled her into his space, and covered the can with heavy boxes. At that point, she even says her natty wouldn't have broken free. The boxes held her wedding gown and photos. So I was in this garage can and my knees and feet were totally squished up to the side, and I'm barefoot. I remember my feet being so freezing, and I just couldn't get my hands down there. I couldn't reach, so I had to just sit there. There was nothing I could do, Teri said. An Amber Alert was issued for the girls in Wisconsin and Illinois. Racing country detectives arrested Larsen at work and in his wallet discovered a business card for a storage facility. One call from detectives told them Larsen had been there the day before. There was muffled sounds of a woman's voice coming out of the storage unit, said a police officer, and file footage from the day they found Teri. What's your name? Police asked, and I said, I'm Teri from Racing. And I could hear his sigh like, oh God, we found her. Her skull was crushed, her eyes swollen shut. She was suffering from severe frostbite, and her body temperature had dropped to a life-threatening 74 degrees. Doctors said she had an hour left to live, but Teri survived. In fact, 11 days later, Teri talked to reporters. Do you know what she said? Teri said dying was not an option because my girls needed me. Teri had lost all her toes from frostbite and was unable to walk. But it was all smiles. I had a smile because thank God I'm here for my kids. Thank God my kids are okay, Teri said. And now there are 3 kids. The girls are in high school, and Teri and her new man Nick has a 5-year-old son. Today, she believes that she saved lives by talking to college students and women's groups. She helped other people live happier lives. David Larsen is serving a life prison sentence and owes Teri more than $3 million she won in a lawsuit against him. She knows she'll never get a dime of it, but she loves the message. You can't do this to someone and not pay. Thank you for watching once again. This is To Come with Violet.